I've always loved dragons, and I've been wanting to have a stained glass window for a while, so I thought why not make myself a stained glass piece featuring dragons? I've worked with resin before, so surely it wouldn't be that complicated to turn it into faux stained glass, right? All I needed was a way to create a 3D drawing on top of an acrylic panel and then fill it with colored resin. In the end, I opted for foam adhesive used for window insulation, 3mm thick and 6mm wide. I couldn't find any thinner than 6mm, which meant I'd have to cut them in half to have thinner lines for my drawing. Little did I know how time-consuming that would be, especially with the level of details my ever-unchecked enthusiasm led me to draw for my template. I forgot to remove the protection before sticking it to the acrylic sheet. As you can see, the protective film is really hard to peel off, and it's gonna make me lose a lot of time. It's taking so long, so long. I never thought this process would be this slow. For every single line, I had to cut the strip in half, choose the right length, adjust the cutting angle at the end, and only then struggle to peel off the film and place it on the acrylic panel. At some point, I genuinely thought I'd never finish this. Thankfully, I had plenty of moral support from my cat. And eventually, I placed the very last strip of foam. I can't believe I finally finished this part of the project. It took me so long. There are some gaps and lines that I have to correct, but overall, I think I'm happy with how this turned out. I decided to correct them while pouring the thin UV resin underlayer before adding any color. I worked on small areas at a time, holding the foam strips in place while the resin cured under my UV lamp, locking it in the right position. Once that base layer was done, I could finally start working with color. This time, I used 2-component resin mixed with drops of liquid watercolor. Before giving up on my blue, I tried to mix it with a bit of water to see if it would undry it, and it actually worked, so yay, I have blue again. I finally finished the resin part. Ta-da! So now I'm gonna work on the frame. I cut out the template I used for my drawing to have a template for the shape and the size of the frame. And I'm gonna use this, which is 10mm EVA foam. So I was thinking something like this, but I think I'm gonna need to do a paper pattern first. I'm gonna have a problem, because this is larger than the frame. Well, that's a future me problem. The best way to glue two pieces of foam together is to use contact glue. I strongly recommend to use a mask and to open windows because it's toxic to breathe. The glue has dried out, so now it's time to put the pieces together. I have to be extra careful and focused so that I do not mistake one piece for the other and accidentally glue two round pieces together. I know myself, I know it's the kind of mistake I make. It fits! Yes! I have two more layers to do, and then we'll get to the fun part. Before I go further in the process of making the frame, I need to cut the edges of the acrylic panel. I forgot to charge my tool and now it ran out of battery. I cannot use it while it's charging, so now I have to wait. Luckily, my cat was once again there to help me through the hardships of a crafter's life. I am not patient and I've already waited like 10 minutes, so I've decided it has charged enough for what I'm gonna do. Hopefully this is gonna be enough and I'll be able to break it. Well, that was scary, but it worked. It's not pretty, but I don't care because it's not gonna be visible, and it worked. Let's do the other side now. I also traced the outline of the acrylic panel onto the foam, so I know where to trim it before calling it a day. Good morning! My tool's charged, my cat's sleeping, my apartment's a mess, and I'm ready to proceed. Well, that's a lot of dust. It is now time to assemble the front pieces. This step is gonna require a lot of contact glue, so ideally I should do that outside. I wish I could tell you I could do that in our garden, but our door is still not repaired. So I'll have to either go into ninja mode again to reach my garden by crossing our neighbor's garden, or do it on the street. Okay, I've chosen the street. Don't pay attention to me, I'm not doing weird thing at all. Just a normal neighbor, doing normal stuff. Bonjour. D'accord.
Oui, il vaut mieux pas respirer ça dans son appartement, donc je fais ça dehors. Sometimes I get so annoyed at myself. I looked at this piece and I thought, wait, it's weird. It's so large compared to this. Well, my friends, that's because I put the glue on the wrong side of my line.
Before adding the other layers, I used my Rotary tool to smooth the transition between the thinner and larger foam. Then I switched bits and carved fake separation lines between the stones. For the stone texture, I heated the foam with a heat gun and pressed aluminium foil onto it. All that was left to do was to add the LEDs, which was by far the easiest part of this whole project. I carved a channel for the cable, secured it with some tape, and that was it. It was finished.
Testing time. It works, and I can change the brightness. I'm so happy with how this turns out. It was so much work.
I still struggle to believe this is finally over. I spent months on this project. So if you made it this far with me, thank you. It truly means a lot. Until next time!